my husband and I have not had sex in 2 years. And before that, it had been very, very sporadic, meaning like twice a year. And I feel like roles are reversed, and I'm wanting more than him. And there's a lot of past with us. We've been married for 25 years. And so I think that a lot of that has gotten in the way of him desiring me or wanting to be with me. And I have asked a lot of the questions that I listen to you all the time, and I've asked a lot of the questions that you've mentioned, but I don't get answers. So I'm wanting, honestly, I would like to leave. I've thought about divorce, but I'm also a woman of faith, and I think, how can I divorce someone just because they won't be sexually intimate with me? Which seems like a very selfish thing to me. So,
man, there's like 40 questions here. This is a lot.
There is.
There's a big onion. That's right. I'll start at the end and work backwards. I don't think you want to divorce your husband because he won't sleep with you and hasn't for years.
Mm-hmm.
There's the deeper layer is you have said, will you connect with me, not just physically, but also emotionally and relationally? And he has said no. He won't answer your questions. He won't go to the doctor. He won't be honest with you. He is not, in my opinion, being a person of fidelity.
That's hard to hear.
Not being a person of integrity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we can go backwards, but there's lots of people in what are classically defined as sexless marriages, 10 interactions or less a year. And that's the world they've set up for themselves, and by and large, they're happy. That's the world that they inhabit. And there's other couples that have sex 10 times a week. I mean, just constantly. I don't know how they have time to do anything else other than have sex. But they're doing it all the time, and they're miserable. And so the frequency, I do think what you're mentioning, not having sex for 2 years, I think is a challenge. Having it once or twice a year in the years before that, on its face sounds like it's tough, but the bigger issue is, are y'all talking together about physical intimacy, and are y'all helping each other meet each other's needs? And if the answer is no to that, then you got a bigger issue. That's issue number one. But hold on, before you start number two is, I heard you 3 times in your explanation blame yourself.
Yeah.
You said, I think the roles are reversed here. That's fake news. Millions of women are in sexless marriages because their husbands are struggling with ED. Their husbands are struggling with obesity, which has all kinds of health implications for erections and for even wanting to be intimate, because their husbands are obsessed with pornography. Like, this is pervasive. This isn't just you. Okay. So I don't want you to quietly and shamefully bow your head and think that there's something wrong with you because you're a woman and you're all out on an island by yourself. You want to have more sex than you're having. That is just simply inaccurate. Millions and millions and millions of women are in your same boat. Okay. Maybe not to the extreme, but there's not something wrong with you. Okay. Now, you also blamed yourself and said, there's some reasons he doesn't want to be with me. I would love to hear those reasons the stories you tell yourself about that.
Well, I have been very direct. I've gotten to a point in my life, I'm turning 50 next year, and I'm done with all the games and all the nonsense. I came straight out and I was like, 1, do you want to be married to me? And 2, why don't you desire me? And his answer is usually, I don't know. I don't have answers for you. I don't know what to say. But the most recent was that I trigger his trauma, and that from the past. And that's probably why I blame myself for a lot of things, because in the past, I had a lot of let's just say I had a lot of sexual issues where I was abused and other things. And so that when we started our marriage, it made things really difficult for him.
Okay.
And then when I got healed, that changed a lot of things. And so I feel as if I'm still being blamed for that.
Okay. And there's probably truth all around, right?
Mm-hmm.
That he wanted to sleep with his new wife, and that was painful, scary, whatever for you, right?
Yeah.
And there was there was a learning curve together.
Well, yeah, and it just kind of, I was very controlling in like what was allowed or what we could do because of my past. So it kind of dampened things a bit.
Okay.
So.
How long ago was that?
Oh gosh, that's 15 years ago at least.
Okay.
But I don't think he's ever forgiven me for those things.
Okay, that's the answer right there.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I hate to say this because these things get clipped on the internet and sent out all over the place. If you're triggered, that's your body immediately going to DEFCON 1, fight or flight. It's trying to save you. And in relational context, you get a couple of triggers, and then the job is to go heal and teach your body that what used to terrify us or what was scary is no longer scary.
Right.
So saying something triggers me as permission to just sit on the couch and not live my life and not be in a marriage it's a non-starter for me. Okay. Right? You were triggered early on in your marriage because of past abuse, right?
Yes.
And so you set some boundaries that he was all in on, and it was frustrating for him. It was scary for you. Y'all walked through it together. That's what healing looks like. And now you're trying to get the wallpaper to peel off, and he is saying, I'm still scared from 15 years ago, so I don't want to do anything. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, he actually said to me that I, quote, trained him to be this way because of my controlling behavior from the past.
If this was a year ago or 2 years ago, 5 years ago, I would give him that.
Mm-hmm.
15 years. I don't know. He's not on the phone to defend himself, and so me trying to get in his head and decide what he's doing and why he's doing it, whatever. It sounds to me like he has not forgiven you. He's mad that he lost in his mind, he's sitting here at 50 years old, thinks he lost his 30s, thinks he lost his late 20s, and is just, I checked out.
Yeah.
But what I don't buy is I don't have any answers for you. Oh, no. I don't know. I don't buy that.
Right.
So when you say I need some answers, what does he say?
He gets very, he eventually shuts down, but he gets defensive or angry. And when I bring up my feelings, then he brings up his, and it's just a back and forth. It turns into a back and forth between us. So then nothing gets resolved. And that's why I'm just at a point in my life where I would really like to, I want to move forward. I don't want to go backward.
Yeah, there you go. And have you said that to him?
I guess not in those exact words. I've really said, I'm kind of done with all the dance. Like I did what you say. I turned off the lights, turned down the music, and I looked down and I said, I'm done with all the dance. I'm done with all that. I want to move forward. I want to be more intentional in my life. But I don't think he's on board for that.
What did he say?
He just looked at me and said, I know you are, and I don't have answers for you. So, and he is, I know, I feel like all the other people who call in backpedal, but he is trying to go to counseling, but the counseling doesn't seem to be, it's like he just has talk therapy. It's not like they're actually diving into anything. And he said, he was like, well, we're supposed to start doing stuff this on the next session. And I'm like, but it's been 6 months since I said all this. And in January, we sat our daughter down, we planned on divorcing. And then we had a going away, sitting down talk, and that changed.
What changed?
But he promised that he would go to therapy. He would work through some of the, quote, trauma, the things that he refuses to forgive me for. And it was the first time he ever said that. And so I agreed. I was like, okay, if you're going to go do that, I will wait. That's just what it feels like, is I'm just in waiting mode.
Okay. I think it's time to have a second conversation.
Okay.
I can't be in the position to say you need to divorce somebody. I'm not going to do that.
No, I understand.
But you've heard me say this a million times. Behavior is a language.
Yes.
And it sounds like through his actions, he is not interested in forgiving you for the hurt and the injustice that he feels from when y'all were first together. And rightly or wrongly, it's a free country. He can do that. Mm-hmm. I would say as a married man, he opted out of that. And he opted to constantly come back to the table looking to heal. That's not what he's choosing to do. Mm-hmm. And so there's something about a sobering conversation that says, hey, 6 months ago, we sat down and made this plan. And I recognize in the past, as a part of me trying to get myself well, that I ran you through the ringer. And the best I can do is tell you I'm so sorry. And here we are 15 years later. At best, we're halfway through our life. At worst, we're 3/4 of the way through, statistically speaking. I want to wheels off as long as we can.
Yes.
Are you in, or are you in, or are you out? And I don't know. That we can't do that anymore. Or I will take your refusal to answer questions as you saying, I don't have the courage to say it, but I don't want to be married to you anymore. All right, so here's the deal. He is in a house with a woman who does not like him. And you may love him, but you don't like him.
No.
And you're in a house with a woman who is saying, what about me? What about me? What about me? What about me? What about me?
Yes, that's why I feel selfish
about it. And you've probably said the words, I feel, 1,000 times.
Yes.
When's the last time you made him a cup of coffee? Just said good morning.
I do that every once in a while. I'll make him he's very routine oriented. So sometimes I will take on a part of his routine so he doesn't have to do it.
Okay.
So
I just put that out there. It's not a thing I want everyone to go start doing today, but I can imagine he feels like he lives in a failure factory.
Yeah, I've heard you say that before.
Yeah. And you might feel like you live in one too. But the reality is, I think you left this marriage in January too. And basically like, all right, brother, you go ahead, you fix it. And you can't fix marriages like that. And at the same time, you can't carry if he doesn't want to forgive you, if he's just going to die bitter and angry, which people do, then yeah. I mean, but I think there's one more conversation that needs to be had.
Okay. Yeah. I think that I have been saying a lot about, like, I guess my brain has left the marriage, because my brain is like, nothing has changed, and I'm still here, and that's where I just feel like I'm kind of flapping in the wind like a flag, and waiting for someone to, do something. So yeah.
So let's just say 6 months of that hasn't gotten us anywhere.
No,
you can sit down tonight and say, hey, I want to talk to you. and I want no screens, I want the phones down, I want the TV off, and say, tomorrow I made us an appointment to go see a marriage counselor. I want you to come with me. Or, hey, look, I've called my attorney again, and I'm going to get the papers drawn up that we were going to divorce in January. It's clear you're not interested in forgiving me, and it's clear that you're not interested in us working together on getting answers. And I'm becoming somebody I don't want to be. And so I'm willing to call this if that's what you want to do. Or you can sit him down and say, hey, for 3 weeks after the money of marriage, after we get back on the same page, things were pretty amazing. And I saw finally the first time a little pin light, but I don't want to delude myself. But he knows you don't like him. He knows your heart, mind, and body and spirit don't like him. Most people don't want to sleep with somebody that doesn't like him. And he sounds like he is really slow playing this thing, and he's not interested in things being different. He kind of likes things the way they are, and you're not okay with that. And so I hesitate to say this again, but you got to turn the lights back on and turn the music back off because you'll slip back into the same dance. Or right now he's just dancing. Was that Billy Idol? He's dancing with himself in the middle of the living room, and you just got your arms crossed in the corner of the room just staring at him saying, I don't like the way you're dancing. Let's just turn the lights on and just say, hey, dude, what are we doing? You can't say, I don't know. I want you to finally take the lead on some of this. What do you want to do next? Been in therapy for 6 months. And let's make some firm decisions and get on with our lives. We're 50 years old, for crying out loud. But I'm encouraged that after Money Marriage, man, there was a light that came on. And maybe he just said, you know what, it's going to be too much work to change everything. I'm out.